NSC, Fan TV, Scott and Drew here after the game. 3-0 win with Cincinnati. So, Drew, I want you to start. We're just going to talk. Drew, I want you to start. What'd you see?
I'm going to need that.
You're going to need.
Well, first off, to all you people who voted for CJ Sapong for man of the match, you aren't wrong. Insofar as he scored 2 huge goals, huge service to Randall Leal. So, right, it seems like, reasonably speaking, that's
an easy call.
That's an easy call for man of the match, right?
That's an easy call.
But I want to ask you something.
There's 3. 3 is an important number.
3 is huge. 3 goals are huge. However, 0, nil, zilch, nothing, nada. They scored nothing. Granted, they also didn't have a whole lot of shots on goal.
Why didn't they have shots on goal?
I wonder why. The defense was killing it. I mean, especially Washington. I've got to agree with our friend Matty here. He came back. He made sure those chances were not chances, not converted, right? Willis did a great job, honestly, as he normally does. He's always where he needs to be, right?
Shutting down angles.
But when Miller gets beat out, on the other side of the pitch, and we've got a man barreling down, Washington is on his case.
So I think that chance was created because we were trying to jump every ball that was coming to Brenner. So Brenner is their most dangerous forward. We're trying to jump every ball that came to Brenner. Miller jumped the ball.
Yeah.
It ended up getting past him, and he didn't have anybody behind him.
Yeah.
And so Washington bailed us out. There's no doubt about it.
He bailed us out, and he did it again actually in the second half. If you watch carefully, their other chance, honestly, because the second half they didn't have much of a chance.
Not a lot of chances.
Washington came on the right wing, and he knocked the ball out for a corner. But I was worried about whoever was coming into the center there. I think 19 that they subbed on in the second half was barreling in through the middle.
Fresh legs, fast, and always Johnny on the spot.
Yeah, and honestly, I was worried that was going to be a goal, but who was there to boot it out but Washington? Took the corner, defended the corner, it was just fine. Kept the clean sheet. Another candidate for man of the match, though, I have to say, who got subbed off for our friend Alex Muil, was Anunga.
Brian Anunga had a great game.
Brian Anunga had a great game. I think when it comes to the midfield, the fact that Dax had to drop back in that second half meant that he had to make those avenues work. He had to get back, dig the ball out, really be that kind of box-to-box position that he normally plays for us. But it's exacerbated by the fact that the normal 6, Dax, wasn't there, right? He couldn't draw defenders and eat up space the way he normally does, right? So he had to step up, and I think he did. And part of the reason I think he got subbed out is because he had to work his butt off to fulfill that role as just a real true box-to-box midfielder. If you look at the way he defends, though, he's a very non-committal defender, and I like that about him.
He doesn't create a lot of fouls.
He doesn't.
Not a lot of fouls.
There's not a lot of fouls off of him, yeah. And I think the way he uses his body is also very interesting. Because he's a rather heavy fella, and it's so useful.
He's a muscular fella.
We lack that, honestly. Players who are larger and in charge who can just get in front of the people and use their bodies, right?
I think that some of our up-and-coming players, I think that LaGrassa is somebody who's going to be able to step into that kind of role, play a little bit more of a kind of an enforcer in the midfielder kind of role.
Who came on right at the start of the second half.
And he played admirably well, covering a lot of balls, creating some chances.
Yeah.
So some questions then about our front two. So you made the case for Washington over Sapong for the man of the match, and you said that they weren't wrong. But let's give Sapong some credit, and let's also give Hany Mukhtar some credit for creating those kind of chances up front. So well played, but it did sometimes feel like, even though we had 3 goals, it did feel like there was some wasteful play up in front.
There was, and one thing I have to say about Mukhtar, I love Hany Mukhtar. I love the way he plays. I love that big right. I love how he takes all of our spot
big righty.
All of our spot kicks, big righty. Johnston's out for Canada, but big righty Mukhtar. I gotta say, there were a few fall down moments from him. It's
one in the first half that looked pretty divey.
Yeah, and I'm not saying. When you get touched and it could be a foul, it's like a soft foul maybe, or you could call it, but if it wasn't, no one's mad. You take yourself out of the game when you fall down like that and don't draw the foul. So unless the contact is big enough that it'll be called, there's no reason to go down like that. I know you want to indicate to the, to the ref that something happened, there was contact, but for one, not all contact is a foul.
That's right.
This is not a full contact sport, right? But
there is some shoulder rubbing that happens.
There's gonna be some shoulder rubbing and nudging that happens. And second, you end up taking yourself out of the game. Yeah. And it means that in a situation like a build-up play, you're going forward, you get into the box, then you fall down because you think it's a foul, and now the ref doesn't blow the whistle. Play the whistle, guys. And now you're on the floor getting up. You may have drawn a defender, but now you're on the floor.
So we're talking about some missed opportunities from some gamesmanship from really kind of flopping. About.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some of the other forward-minded players.
Okay.
Randall Leal had a really powerful goal.
He did.
Near post goal.
He did.
And so great positive play from Leal.
Yeah.
However, I feel like so there was a lot of positives with Leal's game, and I don't want to undercut that.
Yeah.
But I do have one complaint about it, and it kind of felt like it got highlighted tonight, which was that he was lined up in the midfield, but didn't seem to play a lot of midfield defense.
Okay.
And when he did, it was mostly fouling.
It was fouling or it was mediocre. He comes back, and if he comes back, then he's a body on the point, right? He's kind of there. He's kind of waiting for maybe something to build up on a counterattack, but he doesn't dig the ball out. I don't think he really digs the ball out. I think that when it comes to coming back, he doesn't do it, and if he does, then it's just him being there almost. I mean,
so as a midfielder, he's got to be just attacking midfielder, and we just if it's defense, it's just you occupying space. Don't go try and digging the ball out.
No,
and that's almost a thought too many, right? I mean, that's that's effectively just saying don't play defense. And so it's very frustrating watching him on the field. On the one hand, there are so many upsides to his game, but I think that that him coming back and helping with defense can sometimes be a hindrance.
One thing too is that he's honestly one of our more selfish players. I think we have,
and that's okay given the fact that
he's really good going forward.
He nails the ball.
Yeah. He can be clinical at times. We saw it this game, and it's good because we saw a chance where the ball was crossed in across the mouth of the goal in the second half. I forgot who crossed it in. I think it was maybe Nialis.
It might have been Nialis, who had some positive play tonight.
Who actually, who was looking forward. And
shout out to Nialis tonight.
Shout out and big up Nialis because that was good play. I think look forward more. The lateral passes aren't bad, right? But if you see opportunities, take them. And I think that's one way in which there's something to be said for Anunga.
It's a little bit more positive play out of him. And a lot more just in terms of the fact that he's helping out with the defense. Yeah. He plays laterally too, so he helps out on the sides.
He does help.
So I mean, again, I think that just in terms of our midfield play, and I feel like we dominated them in the midfield. Yeah. I think that Anunga was the story with that. Last question. I just want to ask you. We have an incredibly expensive, maybe the most expensive substitute in all of MLS. like dollars per minute. Ake Loba has got to be the most expensive player in the MLS. And given the fact that he maybe touches the ball 3 times a game, and we're paying him that much, what are we seeing from Ake Loba?
Well, we saw, I think, about 10 minutes from the last game for his first appearance in the MLS, which is big, right? 20 minutes this game. We thought it would be bigger. But the only thing is, when he comes out, I mean, it's not like he has negative impact on the ball. It's not like he gets it and loses it immediately, but
he feels a lot of pressure on him to do something.
Yeah, he is our most expensive player.
Did you see? So far he hasn't disappointed, with the exception of one possession, where he had the step overs at speed.
He was trying
to
do some Wilfried Zaha.
He stepped over himself.
He stepped over himself. He was trying to get cute with the ball. And I don't know what Gary Smith has to say about this, right? We saw it before, and Mukhtar did it excellently.
Yes.
To get that hat trick, that beautiful hat trick.
Hat trick goal, right? Step over.
A lot of Wilfried Zaha style play where you're stepping over, you're juking out defenders.
Zaha reference, awesome.
Yeah, Wilfried.
Oh my gosh.
Ake Loba juking himself out.
Yeah.
Right near the box. It's just too much to watch for him being that expensive. I mean, he's probably nervous on the ball. I get it. He's the most expensive player. But I don't know if Gary Smith's idea is to build him up slowly, right? Keep him 10, 20. Maybe he'll come on for the just second half next game against DC United maybe.
That would be great. I'd love to see. I'd love to see more of him, and I'd love to see him develop. But if he keeps stepping over himself, and we're seeing some positive play, but really not that much, you know what? Like, I thought that I saw more from LaGrassa tonight.
I thought LaGrassa had a big game, but anytime he comes on, big tackles from him. He's a great tackler. He's a great tackler. Of all our players, I think him and Dax have the most impact tackling.
Digging balls out.
Getting in there and digging it out, I think Dax is part of his experience. LaGrassa is a bigger dude, too.
He can play more aggressively, I think.
I don't think he's
maybe
as
a little
fast,
faster.
too.
Oh, you don't think he's as fast?
I don't think he's as fast. I don't think
I would like to see some numbers on this.
Well, he's faster than Dax.
Yes, he's faster than Dax.
But I'm not sure he's faster than...
He's not faster than Anunga.
Yeah.
Right.
Brian Anunga is just... He's fast.
He is a complete player, and I want to see more from him.
I want to see more from Loba.
I want to see more from Ani Baba too.
Concluding thoughts. I want to see more from Ani Baba, more from Ake Loba. I want Anunga to keep it up, and I want to see Willis keep making those saves.
What a great night! Hey, another clean sheet for Joe Willis.
I think that's 8.
Man,
knock on wood.
Boom.
NSC Fan TV. This is Drew. I'm Scott. Signing off.